To paint a simple pine tree, we start with the trunk and using the fan brush, and then we'll start making the branches with the corner of the brush. And in this view here, I'm using the whole length of the brush. You don't want to use that all the time. You want to use all of the angles of the brush, pointing down, pointing up, pointing straight. And the most important thing when you're painting pine trees with a fan brush is to reload your brush constantly. Reload your brush constantly. That is the biggest thing. You can see that I'm using less paint sometimes more of the brush, sometimes less of the brush. And the same process again. Right now we're just kind of outlining the pine trees. This is wet on wet, which means the background is wet. The background, it doesn't have too much paint on there, so it's not picking up too much of the background layers on the fan brush. So you can see how I'm turning the brush as I'm adding more branches here. I like my trees to have a little bit of a angle tip because of the buildup of snow, and they kind of weigh down the branches, and they kind of remain that way. And of course, as you get towards the bottom of the pine tree, the trunk or the branches expand even farther, and of course the trunk is thicker too. So all kinds of sizes, and some are straight, some are on the side, like for example this one here, and some of the branches are pointing up and some of the branches are pointing down, and sometimes there's more space in between the branches and sometimes less. So this is our first initial step, is to kind of figure out where these pine trees are going to go, and then we're going to do a little bit of the fast forward with the shop towel and take off the excess oil and the paint. And now we are in our third step, which is the highlights. So the highlights are the same. You want to keep reloading. So I'm using just cadmium yellow and just kind of hitting the highlighted parts of each of the branches there and the pine tree. For my colors, for the darks, the darks I used were Ivory Black. I used Ultramarine Blue and lots of Sap Green. So I would say the most important part here is the taking off of the excess oil paint with the towel, and then the next layer, the highlight, will stick much easier. If you'd like to take a look at how I paint trees with a synthetic flat, you can click on this video next.